here are the objections you're going to get. And these objections are either confusions, intellectual confusions, or they're outright denials of the will. Okay? The first three are confusions. And then we'll talk about denials. The first objection you'll get is cultures have different values, therefore there is no real, absolute, objective moral value. It's subjective. One culture has X, another culture has Y. There you go. Proves it. We'll talk about that. Secondly, values have changed. We used to burn witches, for example. We used to have slaves. Now we don't do that anymore, so values have changed. We got to deal with that. Then there's the objection that values conflict. You know, it's the old life raft dilemma. You're on a life raft that's fit for 4 and you have 5 on. If you don't throw somebody off, then everyone's going to die. So what do? They conflict. Or the Nazis come to your door and you're hiding Jews. Are you supposed to tell the truth to the Nazi, or you try and save the life? Aren't you supposed to tell the truth? Yeah. You supposed to protect life? Yeah. What do? See, it can't be absolute. They're relative. So you got to deal with that. Then finally, we disagree on values. And this is more an issue of denial than it is confusion. We'll talk about that when we get there. Let's go to point 1. Cultures have different values. This is a cow. Everyone can see that? Now, in India, cows are sacred. Where do we get sacred cow from? I assume it's from India. Is that where we get that from? I guess. And they're so sacred to the point that some people starve to death while cows are all around them. Now, obviously here, we have no trouble taking Bossy into the slaughterhouse and having a good steak. So our values, they seem to value cows more than people. What's going on? Right? That's a cow. This is grandma. Now, in India, they don't believe in slaughtering grandma, and neither do we, right? But why in India won't they slaughter a cow? You know why? Because they think grandma might be in the cow. They believe in reincarnation. See? And they think that some of the souls of their departed loved ones may be in the cow. Now notice, this is not a difference of values. This is actually a difference in understanding. You have an absolute value versus a relative understanding. The value is the same. You're supposed to respect elders and your ancestors. We agree with that, and so do the folks in India. What we have a different understanding in, or understanding of, is where is my ancestor? Where is grandma? If we thought grandma was in the cow, we wouldn't take her to the slaughterhouse, would we? The value is the same. Respect your ancestors. Respect life. What differs is the factual understanding regarding whether or not grandma's in the cow. In India, they don't believe it's right to eat grandma, and neither do we, right? It's not right to eat grandma, okay? So the same value exists. It's just the difference in our understanding of where grandma is. Now, perhaps that's an oversimplification, but you get the idea, okay? Also, sometimes there's a difference between what and how. What do I mean by that? A kiss of greeting is considered polite in some cultures, but in other cultures, it would repel you. Now notice that the value to express respect through a greeting is absolute. Doesn't matter what culture you're in, when you see somebody, you're supposed to greet them. But the difference is in how you express that. What should be done, the greeting is the same, but how it should be done is different. Sometimes it's a hug, sometimes it's a handshake, sometimes it's a kiss. Whatever it is, it's different. They say that Eskimo wives actually express love to their husbands sometimes by chewing his boots before he leaves the igloo. Why? Because you need to warm up those frozen boots. Now, that's an expression of love, but it's in a different culture. If you come downstairs one night men, and you see your wife chewing your shoes or your boots, you wouldn't think that was an expression of love now, would you? No, but it might be in a different culture. The expression or the value, love, is the same, but how it's expressed is different. The second, that values have changed. We used to burn witches, and we used to have slaves, but we don't anymore, so values have changed. How do we deal with that? Well, first of all, let's point out that this is another indication or another instance of the absolute value versus the relative understanding. Why were witches burned? And by the way, how many witches were burned, as far as we know, in Salem, Massachusetts, way back when? Anyone know? How many? They hanged them, burned them. How many were killed? Anyone know? Anyone have any idea? 5 and 10. As far as we know, I think there were 18. 18 or 19. Now, you would think that from the very popularity of the issue, I mean, everyone seems to know this, that there would be thousands of these people. Now, I'm not saying that 18 or 19 isn't significant, but it's 18 or 19 people, okay? But why were witches burned or hung or killed? Why? Why were they killed? Thought they were evil. The reason they were killed is witch hunters used to believe witches murdered people with their curses. They used to think that witches were murderers, that they could curse people and kill them. We know that that's not the case now. In fact, the moral value of murder did not change. People's understanding of whether witches are murderers changed. Did you like those little guys flying back and forth? I think they'll come out again if we wait. I got to back it up. Here we go. Watch. Yeah, there they go. That guy's trying to catch the witch. Right? What changed? What changed was our factual understanding of whether or not witches were murderers. If they were murderers, maybe they should have died. But if they're not, of course not, we ought not kill them. Now we say, no, witches don't murder people, so let's not kill them. What's the same? The value is the same, life. Life is sacred. What changed is our factual understanding of whether or not a witch was a murderer.